The need for a people's car, or Volkswagen in German, its concept and its functional objectives were formulated by the leader of Germany in the early 1930s. He wanted a cheap, simple car to be mass-produced for his country's new road network. Although the Volkswagen Beetle was the brainchild of Ferdinand Porsche and the German dictator, the German automobile industry was not really interested in producing the Volkswagen because they could not afford the price of only 990 Reichsmarks, an equivalent of roughly 4,500 euros in today's currency, for the new car. So the German Labour Front took on the task of finding a suitable location for the production facility. As a result, the organization was commissioned to build the largest car factory in Europe. Porsche, who was also the general manager of the newly founded Volkswagen GmbH or Volkswagen Ltd, had scouted out modern production methods on study trips in the United States, especially assembly line production, with which the Ford company had revolutionized profitable mass production. In 1938, after a search of little over 6 months, the future factory location was founded near Fallersleben, which is called Wolfsburg since 1945. This new factory was located approximately in the geographical center of the German Empire. Military aspects also spoke in favor of this location, because in the foreseeable case of war, the factory was far from the border and therefore apparently more protected from air raids. 3 different teams of architects designed the approximately 1.3 kilometer long factory frontage with a thermal power station, and the new city was built on the northern side. With a total area of 6.5 square kilometers, the factory is the largest factory in the world. The laying of the foundation stone for the plant on 26th of May 1938 by Adolf Hitler, with the participants of around 70,000 spectators and participants from the National Socialist Organization, was staged on a large scale. However, the construction work had already been going on for a year with the help of thousands of workers. In the autumn of 1939, the production halls were in the shell. However, the Volkswagen car was not produced as planned, so 150,000 cars per year, because the economy was preparing for the war and there was a lack of special machine tools. Operations began only in late 1939. With the outbreak of the Second World War, the production of civilian goods receded completely in the background, and the plant now produced vehicles for the German army and the SS. Between August of 1940 and April of 1945, more than 50,000 Kübelwagen and an additional 14,000 Schwimmwagen were manufactured. The revenge weapon V1 flying bomb was also manufactured here in a secret department in the basement of Hall 1. From 1940 to 1945, around 20,000 people, including prisoners of war and concentration camp inmates, had to do forced labor in the armaments production at the Volkswagen plant. The People's Car Factory near Fallersleben was the target of a total of 5 Allied air raids, all in 1944, on April the 8th, 29th, on June the 20th, 29th, and August the 5th. After this last attack, 8 presses were badly damaged, and 50 machine tools and production machines were destroyed. After the last 50 Kübelwagen had been completed in April of 1945, units of the US Army took over the plant. After the war, 20% of the factory buildings were destroyed, but 90% of the machinery was still in usable condition. Under the British military government, represented by Major Ivan Hurst, the plant resumed operations in late 1945. Mechanics from the British Occupation Army set up the Wolfsburg Motor Work at the plant. It was basically a repair facility for their war-damaged vehicles. Alongside this, production of the Volkswagen car began, while another half of the 6,000-strong workforce cleared away the debris of the war. The British sent a Volkswagen, the first series, to Great Britain for appraisal. Vehicle experts there decided that the vehicle did not meet the technical requirements of an automobile and recommended that the plant be demolished. The military government put the plant back into operation anyway, also because of the streams of refugees from their homeland arriving here. In 1945, almost 2,000 Volkswagens were built by hand. In 1946, there were already around 10,000 vehicles. However, the first 20,000 post-war Volkswagens were only given to the Allied authorities. In January of 1948, the military government handed over the management of the works, and in 1949, the German federal government became the trustee of the Volkswagen plant in Wolfsburg. The production figures grew rapidly. The millionth Beetle was manufactured as early as 1955. After the Berlin Wall was erected in 1961, the previous influx of workers from East Germany stopped, and guest workers were recruited from Italy. The last of more than 11.9 million Beetles built at the main plant left the Wolfsburg assembly line on the 1st of July 1974, and the Volkswagen Golf succeeded it. On the 3rd of June 2007, Volkswagen celebrated the anniversary of the 25 million Golfs, which a big party. In 2020, which was marked by COVID-19 pandemic in Germany, just under 500,000 cars were produced in Wolfsburg. Many employees were on short-time work. In June of 2020, the purchase premium for electric cars was increased in Germany. This has contributed to the shift in demand. The Trinity electric car project is to be produced at the Wolfsburg plant. Production of this new Volkswagen car is scheduled to start in 2026.